Good day, mate. My name is Joseph Warren, and today I'm going to be talking about how to look amazing on your next Zoom video presentation. But first, I want to give you a fun fact about Zoom. Did you know that if you purchased $1,000 worth of Zoom stock at the beginning of this year, it would now be worth $6,420? Talk about a great investment. Zoom video conferencing, Zoom video presentations are definitely here to stay. So here are 5 quick tips on how to look great on your next Zoom presentation. Number 1, good lighting. Good lighting is critical for any sort of video presentation or Zoom presentation that you're doing. And here's some do's and don'ts. What you really want to do is you want to have bright lights that are facing you head on, front lighting, because that'll make your face illuminated, and that's what you want. You want your face to be the focal point of your presentation when you're on video. That's what people want to see. So what I do is I bought a cheap light off Amazon. I have a $25 ring light that I use that's attached to a tripod. That's what I'm using currently. I'm also standing in front of a chandelier to provide even more lighting. But if you don't want to pay for lighting or you don't have a good light source, you can also try sitting with the light of a window facing your face. That will also create great lighting, which some might say is even better because natural lighting is the best source of light that you can get. What you don't want to do is you don't want to have a lot of lighting behind you. I made this mistake when I was first getting into the video presentation world and doing Zoom presentations. And what it did is it caused it so you couldn't even barely see my face. It made my face very shadowy. It was harder to see me, and you could see just like a bright light behind me. So you want to be the focal point of your presentation, and lighting like that, when your face looks shadowy, it makes it so almost like you're hiding from your presentation because people can't really see you that well. And you don't want that because it makes it so you seem less trustworthy. Kind of like if someone was like this. It's like you don't want to hide during your presentation. Number 2, camera level. You want the camera to either be facing you at eye level or you want it to be slightly above eye level. You definitely never want it to be below eye level because that's a bad angle for most people. So if you notice people taking selfies, they'll either be doing it head up like this or higher because that's a good angle for them. But rarely will you see people doing selfies like this because it's just not a good angle. So how can you do that on your Zoom presentation? I know when I'm on Zoom, I use my laptop. So what I'll do at home is I'll just put my laptop on top of a box so it's at eye level. And I do this specifically when I'm going to be speaking because I think it's very important when I'm speaking that I speak to people at eye level. And they prefer that. No one wants to be looked down upon. When I'm at work, I'll do something similar, except I don't have a lot of boxes lying around at work. What I do is I just grab reams of paper from the copier and just put my laptop on top of that until it's at eye level or slightly above eye level. Number 3, I think this is actually the most important tip I'm going to give you today, or one of the most important ones, and it's eye contact. This is something that takes a while to learn. It's definitely not natural, but you have to learn to look at the camera instead of looking at the faces on the screen. Now I'm doing that right now. I can see my face over here, and if I look at it, you can see I'm not looking at the camera, and it's just very natural. As humans, we're evolved to know when someone's looking them in the eye or when they're looking off. And it shows confidence when you're looking someone in the eye, and the only way to do that on video is to look at this mechanical camera lens that's right there. It won't seem real at first, it won't seem like the natural thing to do, but over time with practice, it becomes more and more natural. Here are some tips on how to do that. And really, I think it's kind of a mindset shift. So one thing you want to do is you want to practice. So practice speaking to cameras over and over, and just don't release the videos. If you don't like the way they come out, just talk about anything you want to, your favorite topics, sports, cars, movies, whatever you like to talk about. Practice talking to a camera and just see how you look. Are you looking at the camera or not? Over time, it just becomes a habit. Another thing you can do, what I like to do is I like to picture my audience as looking at me through the camera. So I have to remember not to look at the actual faces, which seems a little weird, but actually picture my audience as peering at me through the camera and I'm looking at them. Another thing you can do is put a sticker. I know someone who puts a sticker of his wife's smiling face right next to the camera, and that's what he likes to look at as he's speaking. So there's many tips on that, but it's super crucial because if you're looking, especially if you're speaking to someone and you're not looking them in the eye, it shows a lack of confidence. Number 4, digital backgrounds. I don't have an opinion either way on whether you should or should not use digital backgrounds, but I think if you are going to use them, you should follow a few rules. Make sure they're not too distracting unless it's actually purposefully distracting and that's a part of your presentation for some reason. But just like you don't want the distraction of a bunch of light coming from behind you and obscuring your face, you don't want something distracting in the background either. So don't use a digital background that's irrelevant to your presentation or distracting. Finally, you also want it to look seamless. Like sometimes you'll notice when people are using digital backgrounds that around them, you'll see a lot of glitches, a lot of pixels that don't make sense, that are just going on and off. You definitely don't want that. If you're gonna use a digital background, do it right, make sure it looks seamless and perfect, or don't use it at all. Number 5 is framing. And this is something that I could actually improve in my own video. You want your framing to be something that reflects your personality. And really, the speaker with the flowers, the fake flowers on it, doesn't really reflect my personality too much. I just think it looks nice. So that's why I make the videos here. If I wanted something that would fit my personality, I would probably stand in front of maybe a bookcase that has some of my favorite books, or maybe if I'm at the office in front of some diplomas that I have and different accomplishments. Those are some ideas for ways that you can frame. Also, how you frame yourself in the picture is also important. You don't want to leave too much space. So you wouldn't want me speaking from right here because there's just way too much space. And you want to be the focal point of your video. So you want to have just a little bit of space on top of your head while you're speaking, but no more than that. If you try all that and you still don't like how you look on video, Zoom has a few settings for that. One setting is called Touch Up My Appearance, and I'll put a picture of it on the screen. But basically what you do is you go to video settings, and then from there, you hit Touch Up My Appearance. And there'll actually be a toggle bar, and you can decide how much touching up you need. It's pretty magical if you think about it. So let's say you're very tired, you had a horrible day, everyone was cutting you off on your way home from work. In that case, you could turn it way up, and you'll look a lot nicer. Or maybe one day you wake up, you're just glowing, the birds are singing all around you, it's just an amazing day. Maybe turn it down a little bit for a more natural look. Another setting that Zoom just recently added is Adjust for Low Light. You get to it in the exact same way. You hit Video Settings, and then you hit Adjust for Low Light, and that'll actually allow you to break some of these rules. So you can have a little bit of backlighting and still have your face be lit up, which is important. You can also use that, of course, if you don't have a good source of light. So there's actually settings for that, which can also help. But other than that, just remember to smile when you're presenting, to speak from the heart, and let your true authenticity shine. And there's no doubt that you will absolutely own your next Zoom video presentation. Remember to hit like and subscribe, especially if you want to hear more advanced tips for how to look good on video next week when I do Public Speaking Thursday. I also want to say I'm very excited about some of the things I have upcoming on this channel. I'm actually going to be doing a live stream interview with one of my mentors from Toastmasters, who's been a Toastmasters member for 50 years. I don't know how it's going to go because it's going to be literally live stream. We're just going to live stream it from Zoom. But I'm going to ask some amazing questions, and I think you can gain some great insight. Imagine someone who's been public speaking for 50 years, what you could learn from that. If you'd like to watch that, make sure to hit subscribe so you know when it comes out. It'll be coming out in the next few weeks. And have an amazing day.